Anybody can be better, right? As a human being, right? As an American, as a soldier, whatever it is. So I feel like to be an American is it's just that. It's to be a great human being with a mindset to survive and never quit. And I apply that to my life every single day. You know, when people didn't accept me as an American and they say, hey, you're not American, you're some Asian, whatever. You know what I said to myself? I'm going to be a better American than him. I'm going to seek a higher level education. I'm going to fight for my God and country. And I'm going to give back to America any way I can for the sake of humanity. Right? So I'm going to be a better human. I'm going to be a better American. See? Because even though I was discriminated against and I was ostracized because I looked different, it didn't matter. I had a heart of an American.
Good morning. Please sit down. Concept, a mindset that you're able to take that little clips and you're able to put the puzzles together. Makes sense? There was a monk one time that asked a samurai about the ways of war. He said, the monk said to the samurai, what is the way to combat? What is the true way to combat? And the samurai said, the way to combat is the way of the normal mind. Okay? State of Mushin. When all thoughts and emotions are limited and your true training kicks in. Because when you are dealing with conflict, when you're dealing times of war, when you're fighting for your life or your family's life, you're reacting. Okay? You're not really thinking and processing things clearly. Okay? But if you're able to train to a state, right? Train to a state of fluidity, right? Train to a state of no mind, then you're going to win the fight. Okay? You have to train to a state of no mind state. That means a normal mind. Every day you guys reach the state of Mushin. Every single day. When you first got in your car, when you first learned to drive, you adjusted the mirrors, right? You adjusted all the mirrors, you probably turn off the radio, had your turn signals on, but think about where you're at today. That car becomes you. Right? As you're driving and this car is coming here, you're able to judge and process time. You're able to judge distance. Right? That's a martial art. That's Mushin. So you need to take that mindset of normal mind, right? Walking, breathing, eating, right? Think about when you're a child. How hard was it you to learn how to walk? Everything's difficult at first until it becomes a state of no mind, a state of normal mind. So we're going to learn the state of normal mind. So my concept is this. If I'm able to take a state of normal mind, how my body moves, right, normally, then I take that concept and I throw it into the most extremes in combat. Gunfighting, knife fighting, hand to hand. Everything is I take that state of normal mind into this. Okay? Now, how I move is different from how he's going to move. How different she's going to move, right? How different you're going to move. Size and strength matters. Okay? I'm a martial artist since I was 8 years old. Size and strength matters. Don't ever think, oh, it's about form and technique, which it is. Leverage. But size and strength does matter, and reach matters. Because that, my friend, is about timing and distance. All right, so let's talk about timing and distance. Who shoots in here? Okay. What do you shoot? A pistol? All right, so let's talk about a pistol. So let's say you're really good at shooting a pistol. All right? But if I take you in the streets of New Jersey and you have to make a 100-meter shot or a 200-meter shot in an urban environment, is that weapon proficient for that situation? So you can't just go, hey, you know what? I'm training jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a ground fighting sport, or not a ground fighting style, right? Wing Chun is this distance here. Muay Thai is this distance. You understand, right? So you can't gauge off of, oh, I learned karate, right? I learned JKD. I learned whatever, jiu-jitsu, right? And I'm a martial artist. No, you are a martial artist at that one level of that fight. Understand? So I approach things at different levels of the fight. Stick out your arm. So if we're here, I'm at a safe distance. Now I could breach this distance really fast, but I'm at a safe distance because he can't reach me and I can't reach him. Right? So it's a different form of fighting out here. If I take one step, now we can reach each other. It's a different form of fighting. Now we're at long distance strikes. Okay? If I move into this distance here, now we're at the medium range strikes. Once we start grappling, now I'm at a different level, right? And then when we go to the ground, it's a different level. So during my process as a soldier, as a martial artist, I went to these different locations and I gathered the intelligence, right? So I went to Indonesia, I went to the Philippines, even in Africa, in certain regions of there, right? I went to Europe and I was able to grasp all this different knowledge at the very roots of why it was created. It was created during combat. But through the process of life, and through the years, the world has gotten a little softer. Majority of the world, right? But not the third world countries. Right? Still in Mali, in Libya, certain regions in the Philippines, you know, you're still seeing these savage acts. People are still killing each other with machetes in Africa. I've seen villages hacked up with machetes. Okay? I've seen villages hacked up with machetes in the Philippines. So what I'm telling you is, war is always going to be there. Okay? Even in this domesticated world, I train police officers from all around the United States, and people are still getting hacked up with machetes. Okay? So you have to arm yourself with that mindset. Understand? So if I have a weapon in my hands, does that change my range? All right, so if I have a weapon, he extends his arm, and I have a weapon, and let's say it's a machete, right? I have a longer range of fighting. I have a lethal end to my hands. Okay? When you're trained for a martial art or any weapon, it has to be universal. It has to translate into the way of the gun, in the way of the hands, in the way of everything else. You don't just take, oh, I have a machete and I have a blade. This moves differently. The gun moves differently. All the mechanics, your body mechanics move the same. How you generate power is how you generate power in CrossFit, in powerlifting, all the way to how you generate power in a punch. Okay, everything's universal. All right. So within the levels of the fight, we have time and distance. Right? If I take his distance. So I'm here, and I take his distance, right, and I'm up close to him, he doesn't have time. I took his time. What do you need in order to deploy a weapon? What do you need to strategize a fight? Time. If I take his time, right, if I take his distance, I take his time. In the Special Forces, we were learned surprise, speed, and violence. Those are three elements that kept me alive. Okay? Surprise, speed, and violence. Surprise is I know a martial art that he doesn't know. Surprise is I'm armed with a gun. Surprise is I'm going to sneak in your house at 2 o'clock in the morning with night vision with assault force. You understand? Surprise. You lose the element of surprise because you flash your blade, you flash your gun. We're squaring off and you get into one of those weird karate stances, right? Then you're advertising yourself. You lose the element of surprise. So you make it up with speed. You make it up with violence, right? So as I breach my opponents, right? If I breach them, I take away what? I take away his distance, but I take away his time to react. So let's rushes me, right? Now I'm here. See, I'm not off the edge. Even if I try to deploy my weapon, he's going to be pushing and pulling on me. A lot of police officers have been shot with that lockdown net. Okay? But if he tries to breach and I move, now I'm off center line. What did I just create? Create time. Okay? Do not back up against your opponent. If he comes here and I back up, I'm not creating what? Distance. I'm not allowing myself time. But if he comes in and I'm here, I'm creating distance. Creating time for me to deploy my weapon, my blade, whatever, even strategize on how to fight this guy. Okay? Because what you're going to learn today is overloading the senses. All right, so overloading the senses is this. I want to attack his corners. Okay, I want to move off center line to my opponent. Center line on an opponent is, if he's standing here, imagine there's a line going from his head down to his groin, head down to my groin. If we're center line, I'm in between what we call the X. In the military, we call this the X, the kill zone. Okay? Where all the predetermined coordinated fires, all the shots, all the lethality on the blade, all this distance is right here on the X. So why the hell do I want to stay on the X? Why do I want to stay in this kill zone? Because if I'm here, think about all I have to worry about. This hand, both his legs, and his head. Understand? That's 100% his arsenal. So bring up your arm. And if I move to the left or to the right, remember that line goes down his body, center line his body. So what did I just do sidestep? I cut down his arsenal by 50%. I cut down his body by 50%. So the only thing I really have to work, all I have to worry about now is his foot movement, his arm movement. Unless he resets. Resets. Now I'm back to work. So it's about timing. Right? Everything's about timing. So all these moves, they won't work unless you have timing. Understand? And you get timing by practicing more and more and more. Alright, so if he rises up, he throws here, here. Now I create distance. Right? Distance. And then this distance will allow me to move my blade, my gun, or box. Understand? Okay. So distance and timing. And this is one of the many forms that I picked up, this is called Silat. Right? Silat is an old Indonesian martial art used to break stuff. Break bones, joints, manipulate. But what I really like about Silat is the off angles attacks. Okay. So the floor is gone underneath me, and there's a clock underneath my foot. Okay? And this clock method that's underneath my foot is the 12 o'clock position. And in the rear, I have 6 o'clock, I have 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And then all the 1, 2, 3s, right? So on the footwork, right, I utilize JKD. Everybody know what JKD is? Or Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee did JKD. JKD is like a hybrid of Wing Chun, right? Everybody know Wing Chun? Everybody want to Wing Chun? Right? So Wing Chun is what you see like, the Wing Chun dummy, the Wing dummy, right? So Bruce Lee, what he did was he implemented the breaching aspect to Wing Chun. And he took that from studying fencers, right? People with fencing. So he's able to use his footwork in order to breach that gap by utilizing the structure of his body to spring forward, okay? I like that method, but I use the clock method of the Philippine Kali system, which is heavy emphasis on blades and impact weapons, is this clock system. Imagine it's like a compass. So there's a compass underneath my foot, and there's a 12 clock, and the 12 clock always moves towards the threat. So as my threat moves, this is now becomes the 12 clock. Understand? The 12 clock is always towards the threat. So if I need to move to my opponent, right, I can move to the 3, and I can move to the 12. I can move to the 11. I can move to the 1, right? I can move back to the 6. I can move to the 7. Understand? These are the clock methods. Within my opponent, there's a reverse triangle. So imagine a rectangle shape, and from there it extends out to a pyramid. Right? And you see the point of the pyramid is passing. Right? And this is a rectangular shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide his 12, his 6, his 3, and his 9. And it's a clock system. So those are my angles. Those are my corners. Remember my footwork, 12 o'clock, and these are my corners. So if I come in at 1, right, if I strike, I come in at 1, I can come in at the 5 on up to the 12. Understand the patterns, under patterns here. So you have to start understanding the clock system, because that's how a blade moves. in order to defend yourself against the blade, in order to protect yourself against the blade, and you first know, you need to know how the blade moves. All right? Okay. So we're going to understand these angles of attack today. So arms up. So the first thing we're going to learn is Silat. This method is called Habad, right? Habad, you can look it up. You can look up Silat online, and it'll show you this basic move. The first time I learned this, we're coming off of training in Indonesia, and I was living in some grass hut village, and they had this music playing, and I was like hot. It's like 110 degrees out in the jungle, and I'm learning a Silat movement, and they're like, it was one of the most miserable things I ever learned. And I thought it was like this movement was the dumbest thing I ever learned. It's not. Okay? So here's the movement. Left, right, left. And I'm like, what? That's it? They're like, yes. So you stick out your arm, and you're going to go left, right, left. So this is Habad. Right, left, right, left. See how I replace the parry arm? So this is called the check hand. So this is called the check hand right here. Okay? So the check hand basically takes the trajectory of his punch off angle. Okay? So hold strong. Strong as you can. So the trajectory of his punch, his power is here. See? His power is here. But his power, it's not here. His power, don't let me do it. It's not here. Don't let me, that's all I need. That's all I need. This movement is all I need. Because this movement goes to his eyes. This movement sticks the blade into his lungs. See? This movement goes into joint manipulations. That's all I need. I don't want to see you guys pushing past my center line. See? I don't want to see you pushing this here. Because that's unnecessary. That's unnecessary movement in that direction. That's not where I'm going. I'm going towards his eyes. I'm going towards his throat. Okay? Now, think about predators. Right? You study a lot, as I do. I study everything. Everything you can think of. Astronomy, science, and history. I study everything. And you think about how an animal attacks. You don't just bite somebody on the tail, right? If he runs, you don't just bite. He goes for the neck. He goes for the jugular. He goes for the kill shots. So when I process my enemy, depending on the level of the fight, now in war it's different, right? I have to look at how to kill him. I have to look at how to put the threat down. If you're fighting for your life, you need to look at those target areas, right? You don't just cut the cut, right? Sometimes I cut his eyes. I go straight towards the nose, the eye line. He can't see, he can't fight. If I stick my fingers through his eye, he can't see, he can't fight. Understand? It brings a whole different level of fight as soon as you parry and stick your fingers through somebody's eyes because they can't see you. Understand? Okay. So we're going to start off here. Just hold strong. Watch, he's holding strong. He's not really, don't let me move you. See? I can still move, see? I can still move him here because his power is not here. His power is here. I can intercept him here. Okay? And that's what the technique of Silat is to close the ground to take away his power. Bruce Lee kind of talked about it in JKD. When I was studying JKD, he talked about intercepting fists. You ever heard about that? Intercepting fists? What's the concept behind intercepting fists? If he generates his throw a punch, see, his power, watch his hip, throw a punch. His punch now, trajectory, is here. That's his power. Go ahead. Go ahead. But his power is not here. See? His power is intercepted right here. If he throws a wide, right? His power is right here. His power's not here. So I want to intercept the power. I want to move in. I want to move in towards where there's no power. That's why it's called intercepting fist. I'm intercepting it before it generates that power. I'm understanding the path of that punch. When you understand the path of a punch, then you can defeat a punch. If you don't understand the path of a punch, you can't defeat it. If I say, throw me a jab, and you don't know what a jab is, or let's say you throw a jab, and I don't know what a jab is, I can't defeat that jab because I don't know the angles of attack. Understand? If I don't know what a hook is, then I can't defeat a hook. Same thing with a blade. Okay? First drill we're going to do, your partner's going to stay in his arm. Right? We're going to go right side first, and then we're going to start moving to alternate sides. The reason why I target right side is 99% of the world is right-handed. Statistically. All right? So, I want to intercept this more towards the wrist line area. So right about here. Anywhere in here is where I want to intercept. And then I want to move my check hand. It's basically like a shield. Right? Think about how many years we've been fighting with a shield. Right? Then I want to move the shield up. Okay? This check hand up. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Say in your mind in the beginning. Left, right, left. Now, I'm not even moving, I'm not really even putting any power, but watch his hands, right? Watch his fists, how he moves off my center line. Can you guys see? I'll move in different directions. So if I just move here, see? Don't let me move. See? He's already off angle. I'm already off angle. I'm already off his 100%. So here again. So if I'm here, see? I'm already off his 100%. I'm not really even utilizing my footwork here, which I will, right? But see? He's already off center line. See? Off center line. What's center line? I'm in between these two things, right? But if I'm off center line, that's off center line. See? Off center line. So, in a blade fight, what's that lead me? Straight shots to what? His lungs. I want to collapse his lungs. I want to stick a blade right into his armpit, right? Because there's nothing stopping me. It's like me taking a blade and sticking right through his nose, right? The soft tissue area, there's nothing stopping it to reach to his brain. Nothing stops me from this line straight into his lungs. I want to collapse it. Understand? Okay. So when I move off center line, so it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's it. Water flows downstream. All right? 1, 2, 3. Water flows downstream. So I don't want to see this. Ooh, this. This. No. Here. Here. Not this. Not this. This. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You got this? If I don't replace this area right here, if I don't replace this, then he can continue to follow through. But watch this move. Go ahead and push. Go push. Seriously. See? He has no leverage here. Go. He has no leverage. I have the leverage. Right? So as soon as I come here, now I have the leverage. So if he pushes, I can let go, and then now I'm back here. See? As he pushes power this way, and push, I can let go, and it frees up this area. So you have to feel where the push and give is. Very much like jiu-jitsu. Okay? What he gives you, you take. Don't force any movement that's not going to work. Understand your body, understand your reach, understand your strengths. Okay? Left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left. Once he gets it down, he starts throwing a punch. He resets the punch, and then you throw. Left. This too. Left, right, left. Go. Throw a punch. See a lot of movement. See how he moves a lot of these unnecessary moves. That's power. That's too much power. This is not where I want the power. This is where I want my speed. Okay? So I don't want power right here. I want to be able to breach in. So if I push too far here, I'm pushing in an unnecessary direction, which I'm still in his kill zone. Okay? If I just do this. What am I building right now? What am I doing to your blind? What am I doing? I'm building a state of what? State of no mind. When all thoughts and emotions are eliminated. Okay? When you're training for a state, there's no other state than a state of machine. In anything you do, there's no other state. A state of no mind. So we have to understand this, get this down first.
Any questions? Goodbye.